Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin report for Monday, October the 11th. And we're going to start with the bearish count. And the bearish count is simply wave 3 over here with an A wave here, an A and a B and a C wave for the B wave here, and then 5 waves down. Now, we can look from the low here and we can look at this as 1 and 2 here. And we could look at this as 3 and 4 here, and then one more wave for 5 to have that B wave in there and down. There's also a count, depending on how you count it, that we can also have a top in here as well. So we can refine that a little bit later. But if there was going to be a bearish count, this is what it would be. But the good news about this is that, well, it would be corrective, you know, at this point. So I think that's fantastic. So it's good for hodlers. But let's go in and have a look at the bullish count. So on the 1-day chart here, so this has been our bullish count, and we're looking at wave 3 here with an A and a B and a C here for wave 4. And then looking for wave 1 and 2 here, and then building more of a bullish count within all of this. We can remove that B wave there because that will be part of the other one. So in a way, we're looking for 5 waves up through here. As I mentioned, there's a couple of ways that a market can build the impulse waves to the upside. And first of all is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. The other way is, well, wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3. Well, it does this sort of anyway, but, you know, just kind of builds like that. Yeah, so we could be in either one of these. So I just need to be a little bit mindful of these. But yeah, in a nutshell, we're on track. We're looking for a bit of a pullback here at the moment. You can also see too that this is a daily chart, and you can see that the last week has just really been, well, quite just the market stalling really because of this over here. This line here is the 78.6 retracement level, which would obviously sort of play out as well. But all these old highs over here, any sort of any further movement up through here, especially after this little run here, we haven't even had a correction from that really, have we? And we've had small ones, but we haven't had a decent sort of pullback, and there's going to be resistance here, and we can see that, and we're going to have to expect a bit of a battle on our hands for this. So anyway, everything being correct, then we'll see wave 1 here and 2 here, and wave 3, 4 and 5, and moving up. And then between wave 2 and wave 3 here, we're looking for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. As I mentioned, this impulse wave can be counted in different ways. One of the things here that I normally look for is a classic trading levels pattern at the 50 sort of area here. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then the pullback at that point. So really, I feel like we could be just in here for this, and we need this pullback here for that, and then back on the 50 and then up from that point. So this would be the arrival, the reaction, and then the first high above the level. So that's what I'm looking for. There's a good opportunity that we can be in play here right now. I'm not quite sure. Or we've got a little wave 4 to come into play, and then another little wave 5, and then we come down in that way. So one way or the other, we're going to be seeing a top come into play here. So let's just move in and check it out. So just into the 4-hour chart. So with the 4-hour chart here, yeah, it just depends on sort of how one looks at it. If I look at it as wave 1 here with an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here, then I can build up as 1 and 2 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 3rd wave, 4th wave, and the 5th wave up here. There is a case that this 5th wave can also fit on this little high just here as well, but that doesn't matter too much. Last time we spoke, we were looking for, well, this wave 4 to play out here with wave 5 to move to the upside, and then a correction down. So we're kind of in that space at the moment. Like I mentioned, we can move these around a little bit, but otherwise we can look at this situation like this, that means that if that is wave 1 up there, then we're going to be seeing wave 2 move back lower from this point, and we'll need to readjust these guys here, because from this low roughly here, we'll sort that out later, but just as a starting point, this is the 50-60% retracement level area in here for that. So in the first instance, we can get something like this here before moving up in the bullish count. And that would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for that. Depending how you count this in through here, it's also possible that we could just come down, back down into this little space here and then have another high up and then have the correction at that point and then move up from there. But in one way or another, we're very close to this top area through here. So this trend hasn't been corrected. So that's the thing, you know. There's different ways to count this here as well. You could put this wave 1 here on top here. So you could look at this as 1 and 2 to here, 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 and building that way around as well. So it's just really sort of step by step. So we wouldn't really turn bearish in this market unless we saw, say, an impulse wave all the way down to the 61.8%. So if we saw a 5-wave move to the 61.8%, then we would look at the bearish count. It would be on the bearish side of the market, okay? It could also work in an A, B, and a C down to this point as 1, 2, 3 down to here. So we'll have to watch what happens at that point. The other point here too, the 46,500, this whole area here, if the market found this as the resistance, then we would be bearish at that point. So let's just continue to cruise in and look at this. So last time we spoke, we were looking on the hourly chart, is it? Yeah. So on this, we were looking at like this. So looking at wave 1 here with an ABC for wave 2, and then 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, and then 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, and a fifth wave to the upside to make wave 3. Then we were looking for this wave 4 to come into play here. This is where it can get a little bit dodgy. We can put wave 4 here, or we can put it over here for this as well. One of the things here though is that, you know, the market's obviously through the weekend. It will be lower volume through the weekend. I know people think that the market moves on the weekend, but the figures don't really back that up. So this little move to here, it's currently sitting on the 61.8% here at the moment for this. So there is support here technically for that. We'll go in and have a bit more of a look at that. So in a way, could this continue to build at this point? So this here it's a bit tricky to count this here. We could look at it in 5 waves as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. Whichever way you look at it, it's a little bit rough and ready. But the main takeaway here is that the market has been struggling into this point. It moved quickly through here, of course. And this area through here is just sort of taking its time. We're expecting, the interesting thing is really we're expecting the stock market to roll over from this point as well. So it'll be interesting to see if this rolls over is in line with the stocks. Not that it has to be, or it has to, you know, it doesn't have to do anything. It can be moving with the stock market or against the stock market. We've seen all of that. So it could be doing anything, but I'm just sort of pointing out that the sentiment for the stock market is to sort of roll over at this point to finish off another leg to the downside. So will this move to the downside as well? So if we do count this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, if that is the case, then, well, any of these lows would do, well, really should do the right thing here and take that. But You could also take it from, you know, one of these other lows here, but for the sake of the exercise, we're just looking at this space in here for this. So in a nutshell, we've got two things that can, well, anything can occur really, but I was looking for 5 waves up. Do I have them in play? I'm not quite sure about that. And if we were going to have a wave 2 pullback here, then it's going to be simple and sharp. It's going to be, the A wave is going to be sharp, and then it'll be like this. So that's what we'd be looking for in this. There is a possibility, depending on how you count it how you count all of this to the upside here, if there's an extra 1 and 2 in here, then that means that the market's only going to pull back sort of to the 40% mark, which will be just down to this point, and then move up from that point, and then have another sort of a top into there at that point. So I don't know what we've got here at the moment with this, you know. That's the bottom line. So I'm unsure. So I just let the market unfold, and we'll pick it up. We'll pick it up when we can. But yeah, that's it. So, I mean, it looks like it wants to correct, doesn't it? I mean, we've had that nice run. The market's been stalling here for like 5 days or so. It hasn't really moved. We're seeing the stock market become a bit weaker. It rallied up in the same vein as well to a point. And let's just see if it rolls over. But yeah, I'll just remain bullish while this particular area here is the 61.8% is in place. But I also understand that we can have a top in play with all of this. I mean, it doesn't look like wave 4's in here just yet, does it? I mean, if that's wave 2 here, 1 here and 2 here, and this is 3 and 4 in here, it's a little bit small, you know, for what's sort of going on. So I wonder if this can be counted in sort of another way. But even so, even if it was a wave 4 here, you know, it still needs to pull back. It still needs to pull back into group 1 here at least. So the thing here, we can have a look in here now. Let's just go to the tick chart here for this. Let's just have a little look. Here it does look a bit bearish. Let's just count this out a bit. I might just go in a little bit further and go into 20 ticks if that's okay. I just want to have a look at this top area. So this is the whole, you know, this is what we've got as wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and then calling this as wave 5 over here. We could put wave 4 over here as well and look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. That could be quite okay, but either way, yeah. And the other point that I wanted to make here is that from this low to this high here, we are at the 61.8% mark in here, so there is support there. So the market could climb from that point. That's why I just want to have a look in this move down here to see what we've got at this point. So it looks a bit bearish to there, so let's just check on that. So what's the best way to do this? I'll just do it here. It probably needs to be a degree smaller. So that's 1 and 2, that's 1 and 2 in here, 3, 4, 5, so that's the third wave. So this will be a fourth wave. And that's pretty easy to see there as a fifth wave, isn't it? 5 waves there. So we do have 5 waves down from the top, which can be bullish or corrective. So then we've got this pattern here. Have we made a new low here first? That's one thing. Yeah, we've just breached that low there. So we could look at this. I could look at it as wave 1. Wrong one. Or wave A. Just got to be fair. Monday morning here, so to get the brain working a bit. So an ABC pattern here. So this could be the C wave. I'm just shooting the breeze here for a second, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can look at that as 1 and 2 back to that point. So as an ABC, it could be a degree smaller or a degree bigger, it doesn't matter, but we've got 5 waves down here. So then we've got a corrective move here, and then we've got this move here that has made another low. So it could be wave C here. If it's not wave C here, then this will all be wave 1 down to that point. So that means that we'll just give that a bit more credence there. And wave 2 is pulled back up roughly to supply levels, so that would be all right. And then we'll need to look at wave 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to the downside. So obviously wave 3 would be down a bit deeper, and wave 4 and wave 5. So that's probably where this starts to come in a bit more here. What have we got here? That looks impulsive. We'll just see how that plays out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So an ABC, so that's okay. So as it stands at the moment, we can see that we do have an impulse wave to the downside. Now it may be finished at that point. So what you could do is that if this market breached that low there, then you know that we look at that as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 down here for wave 3, then wave 4, and then wave 5 down. So it could extend in these waves here too, you know. So technically you could go long above that there. But that's it. That's as much as I know at this particular point in time. That's the 55, so that's important too. The 55 is the second strongest number, so we can see that it's under those levels there. Okay, well, let's just have a look at this is the crypto index. So in this case here, we can look at it, well, as wave 1 up here with an A and a B and a C for wave 2. And then we can look at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So in this case, we could be just coming down for a wave 4 and then a wave 5, and then we'd have the ABC over here for this, and then moving up from that point. Or either that, or we've got this wave B here. So this would make, another way to look at it would be to make this the A wave here, the B wave here, and then the C wave here for this. So this is a bit more like Ethereum really. So with Ethereum here, so yeah, look from here, wave 1, an A and a B and a C for wave 2. That's cool. We can look at this as an A wave, a B wave here, and a C wave here for the wave B, and then just continue down for wave C here. So a much deeper move down through here, or we could look at it as wave 4 and then wave 5 back. And Ethereum would be exactly the same here as well. So we can look at it as wave 2 low here. We can look at it as, well, let's just call it wave 1 here, and we can look at this as wave 2 over here for this. We can also look at it as wave 1 and 2 in here as well. But yeah, wrapping it into the crypto index here. So wave 3 here with wave 4 here, pulling back to this wave 4, that's the 38.2% retracement level. So we can take that low and that there to that point. So we would want to see the market push up from that point to go into wave 5 here, which obviously Bitcoin would need to push up there as well. So that's all doable as well, of course. And then a little ABC pattern here for that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. That's pretty, I mean, it got a bit messy in here, but I think that we've done all the right things. here for that. We can bring that across. It's a little bit messy, but I'm kind of okay with this structure. I know that it can be wave 3 or wave C there and be corrective at that point. So this would be the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here, and we just come further down from that point. So it's a slightly different count than Ethereum, than Bitcoin, but it's still bullish for the time being anyway. So that's where that is. Let's just see how the markets perform. You know, if Bitcoin gets support on 55,000, then it's moving up from that point. That's another way to look at it. In this market here, we just need to allow it to finish off here. This would make a nice ABC at this point. Could also be wave 3 coming down. So we just need to see, you know, if anything is breached or invalidated at a particular point in time. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. I don't need to recap anything, do I? Just have a look at Bitcoin once again here for a moment. Just going to bring it across. Let's remove some of these lines here. So just to recap Bitcoin a bit more here, we could say that we're looking for a pullback. It could be wave 4 or wave 2. If that's not the case and the 55,000 becomes the support, then that little move here that I've mentioned coming up here and pulling back to the 61.8% mark, that can all be viewed as wave 1 and 2 here, and then we're going up for 3, 4, and 5 and moving up higher. It would need the 55,000 as a tested support. If you wanted to sort of validate any move further up, well then the 55,300, which would be group 1, that's where you would start building from in that regard. Okay, so yeah, that's sort of where we are at this point. So just to recap that, if 55,000 and 55,300 become the support, we're going higher. If not, if it can't climb above there, then we need to look at the 50-60% retracement level and also the 38.2%, which comes down here a little bit further and then moves up. But otherwise, we'll see this ABC pattern come into play and then up from that point. And we won't turn bearish unless this area down here becomes the resistance at that point. So we just, I don't have any answers at this particular point, but let's just see what happens for the Monday and the Tuesday, and we'll just start building a case from that point. Alrighty, cheers.